Hello there. Good evening. How are you? I am Helen Sadler, your destiny helper. Come on in, come on in, invite someone as we talk about how the narcissist wants a reaction out of you. So they provoke you and they will gaslight, they will deflect, they will accuse, they will lie just to get a reaction out of you. So let's talk about that. Come on, invite someone, share this with someone. Let's talk about it. Let's go in the new year, 2023, talking about this. It is so good to have you on. Thank you so much for joining me on this evening. I am excited about it. Those of you that are floating with me, thank you so much. This is 2023. It's going to be a phenomenal year for us. No matter what you've been through, no matter how hard it was, no matter how difficult it was, you can make it and you will make it. And those of you that are still with the narcissist, many of you told me that I've been discarded. I was discarded last year and he hasn't hoovered me. She hasn't hoovered me. She hasn't came back and I'm wondering what's going on. Well, when the narcissist discard, if you are a primary source, the primary source than regular supply is really different. The primary source definitely can expect a hoover. And 9 times out of 10, the narcissist often come back to what he left because when the narcissist is with you, the narcissists feel like you are their property. They feel like you don't have a census of your own. So they feel like they can come back. So you have to prepare yourself, especially if you've been through torment. You've been through the regimen of torture, abuse. You've been through the regimen of being discarded. Many of you have been discarded several times, and several times the narcissist came back, and each time the narcissist came back, some of you received them. Some of you struggle with it, but you opened the door, and you found out that when you opened the door, hey, Carol, how are you? She said, keep me the good message coming. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And thank you for joining us on tonight, Carol. We are talking about how the narcissist can provoke you, agitate you because they want a reaction. Many people say it's all about the narcissist, but sometimes the narcissists make it all about you. They need that negative response, that negative energy, because they live off of fuel, and because they are negative about themselves, many times they are negative about their output, what they direct toward you. So, Carol, thank you for being with us. Carol, invite some people as we go forth. We're going to talk about this because it's really interesting. The emails that I'm getting, and those of you who are saying, I don't know what's going on. We get into a conversation and we never get to the root of it. Of course, the narcissists always deflect in conversation. You're never going to get to the root of it because the narcissists don't want to face the consequences of their behavior. Instead, they offset it, they deflect it back onto you, and they tell you what you are doing wrong. Carol, have you ever experienced that from the narcissist? You're talking about a situation that you want to resolve, and instead of resolving the situation, the narcissists tell you everything they're doing wrong. Well, everything you're doing wrong. Well, it's not about what I'm doing wrong. I am questioning you. And this is, hello there. How she said that this is so true. Is that Thiele? She said, I had a miracle today. 11 weeks out from having my left ankle put back together with plates, screws, pins. I took 132 steps without a walker. Yay! Good girl. I am so proud of you. Thank you so much. Is that Thiele? Boy, I'm probably butchering that name. But the narcissists, they never conclude. And when you try to have an adult conversation, it is very, very difficult with irresponsible people. Responsible people take responsibility for their behavior. Irresponsibility always casts the blame. And that's what the narcissist does. They always cast the blame. It's always somebody else's fault. And they take the blame offer themselves the responsibility, offer themselves, because it can cause a narcissistic injury. Oh, Italy. Oh, Italy. That's what it means? Okay. Thank you so much. So, Italy, what do you think about what we're talking about in the subject matter, where the narcissists seek a reaction out of you? They never take the blame or the responsibility for what they do. So when you confront them, there would be delayed conversation, because there would never be a confronting measure. They will never confront what they've done. When you tell them about what they've done, they start accusing you to get off the subject. And what they say is, you are blaming me, but what about what you did? What about what you said? Maybe I said that because of this, or I don't remember saying that. A lot of time they will gaslight. Gaslight is when they institute something that's not true. They make you think that you're crazy. They make you think that you're off. They make you think that you don't have it together. And so they will gaslight, and deflect is when they take the conversation and get something else involved. You're talking about how they overspend money, and they will say, you know what, you're talking about how I overspend money. What about you going out with your friends all the time, and you never, it's been a long time since you've been out, but any deflection of the conversation will work for the narcissist, because remember, they're not going to take responsibility, and they're ready to blame. They're ready to blame you, and you're trying to figure out, what are they talking about? Me going out with my friends. I haven't been out in over 4 months. I've been coming home right from working, and I've been cooking, cleaning, being with the kids. What are you talking about? And so when you question them, they take the question back to you. What are you talking about? You know, you go to your friend. Well, the conversation wasn't even about you going out with your friends. The conversation wasn't about your friends at all. It was about you overspending money. It was about you overdrafting the account. It's about when the check go in, the account is overdraft. So the money is absorbed through the overdraft. That's what we're talking about. And the narcissist never, ever get to the finances. And then when you keep pushing it, they push your trigger, they push your buttons, because they need a reaction out of you. They need a reaction out of you. And so the reaction out of you takes the conversation away. You know, Carol, that is quite an accomplishment for a new year. She said they do indeed keep past their mind always. Yeah, they always deal with the past. They're going to bring something. That's why the narcissist, all of the information they got out of you in times of argument, it comes up. You told them about how your father walked away and you really loved your father. They'll bring that up. She said they cannot survive without reaction. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's negative energy. And that negative energy works for them. And what they need when they're arguing is a trigger. Whatever triggers you is going to be the conversation of the argument, not what they did. They will constantly reflect. And what you do is, the more words you give into the conversation, the more the narcissist uses it against you. Sometime when the narcissist calls an argument, you have to go gray rock. You have to say nothing. The less words you say, the less they have to use against you. They would even bring up the kids. You know, you would be a better mother or a better father if you would do this. You are doing the cleaning, you are doing the cooking, you get off from work, you're making sure everything's done, you are paying the bills, you are making sure things are done. If you have to work overtime because they are spending irresponsibly, you're working overtime, doing the extra hours, so you're paying the extra money for daycare, the extra money for childcare. You are doing all that. And the narcissist will tell you, you are doing nothing. You are totally lazy. She said, amen. Psalms 132:11. Yeah. So the narcissist calls a reaction out of you because they can't live on the truth. So they live on a lie. And the one thing they want you to do is to go off. Because when you start going off, they say, look at you hollering and screaming. And sometimes you are just so tired. And you know what the narcissist say? You're crying. Why are you crying? You're crying because you're guilty. They don't want to deal with the emotional side. So they'll tell you, you are guilty. That's why you're crying. And you're thinking, how can you be insensitive, impervious to what is happening? Uh-huh. Psalms 132 and 11. Absolutely. And so when you are with the narcissist, the one thing you have to do is know what you're dealing with. You have to know what you're dealing with. You got to know that their actions are very intentional. They're thinking about what they're doing. They're not just doing this. They know what they're doing. And they want you to react. Lily said, being around a narc makes your energy low. Yeah, their energy drainer. Hey, Sandy. And she said, that's why some gain weight or lose weight. Absolutely. Hey, Sandy Lou. Absolutely. Because it messes up your digestive system. People don't realize that narcissists can have an effect on your physiological. They did a study and they had the narcissist in the room with the supply. And as soon as the narcissist came in the room, their body totally reacted. Their systems totally went off. And many people that have been with narcissists got sick. But when the narcissist discard or they escape, they noticed that the sickness or diseases that they was dealing with, a lot of times they start to eradicate. They didn't continue. Why? You didn't have that level of stress. Narcissistic relationships, when a narcissist that has NPD, can be very, very stressful. You don't know whether to run. You don't know whether to say, hey, Jesus girl, how are you? She said they make you very nervous. Very nervous. She said, and unassured of yourself. You're unassured of yourself. But God will give back the power. How are you, Apostle? I am wonderful. You are so right, Jesus girl Betty. God will give you the power. The only thing about it, being in the relationship, it's constantly draining. It's like going through a door, and you're going in the door, you're coming out the door, coming in the door, going out the door. So by the time you get strength, that strength is tested, because the narcissist himself, whatever you're connected with, you're affected by. And when you're affected by the narcissist, it's every day. It's all day. It's very seldom you have a good day, because the narcissist can't stand your peace. The narcissist can't stand your happiness. Why? Because they're not happy. So they can't stand for you to be happy. So you find yourself in a squabble. You find yourself in a reactionary circumstance. And then questionable situations. Questionable situations. Let's talk about this. Jesus girl Betty, do you remember when you would confront the narcissist, and the narcissist would never own up to nothing they did? They will always blame somebody else for their problems. If you experience this, let me know about it. Write it. Write your comments. Because it can be intensive with an argument. She said, yes, they will never take the blame. They will always turn it back around on you. Absolutely. And that's called deflecting. They will always deflect the conversation. Hey, Kira. She's old pal to Helen. She said, yes, living with them can really affect your physical well-being. It sure can. It can make you sick. It can affect your heart, your brain, and your digestive system. Every part of your body can be infected and affected by a narcissist, because they are negative all the time. They're negative all the time. Out of nowhere, everything is going good, everything is quiet, the house is quiet, and next thing you know, the narcissist starts something. Why did you cook this for dinner? Because it was your favorite. It's not my favorite. You said the other day that you really liked it. So I cooked it for you, just for you, because you said you wanted it again. I don't want the same thing over and over again. That's why you are lazy. You don't cook. And you're cooking. You got a whole spread out for them. I'm tired of eating the same thing over and over and over again. You didn't cook that over and over again. The narcissists need a reaction. So what they do is devaluate, they gaslight, they prompt you to react. And when you put a lot of work in something, guess what you do? When the narcissists go off, you react because you feel so hurt that you spent all of that time putting into that meal that they don't appreciate. In the other day, in a week or two ago, they praise you for it. Carol said, my neighbor told church leaders he was always sweet to me. Finally, he admitted to being forward his admission to everyone he led to. Wow. He lied to. Wow. Kira said, we are always walking on eggshells, and they provoke and project. Oh, I love that word, project. That's a good word, Kira. They sure do. But they project you into the fantasy realm that they operate in, because the narcissists operate in the alternate reality. They're not operating with truth. And this alternate reality, they want to pull you into it. And when they pull you into it, that's why they get you to react. That's why they blame you. And you are trying to figure out what you did wrong. And you're trying to do everything because you love the narcissist. That's why you're with them. You love them. They know that. And they use it for your disadvantage and for their advantage. And I like that projection. I like that projection, Kira. For war. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's every day. That's why your body can't stand that kind of pressure all the time, that kind of stress all the time. And even when you go to sleep, the narcissist will wake you up. You see, you know what I thought about? I thought about what you said, and that was just low down. They know you got to get up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. It's 3 a.m. The narcissist has vagabond spirits. A lot of times, they don't even need sleep like you need sleep because they're restless. And that vagabond spirit is restless. And when they don't sleep, guess who don't sleep? You don't sleep. Or either they're up on the phone talking to another supply, and you hear them talking. You get up and ask, who are you talking to at 3 o'clock in the morning? I was just talking to my family. Can I talk to my family? While the phone is on mute. You know it's not a family member. And next thing you know, you're up arguing. This argument lasts for 2.5 hours. You're in the shower getting dressed because you got to go to work. And the narcissist knows. They argue with you all the way out the door. And you got no sleep. And you tired on your job. Your job is very demanding. And then you come home, you have to cook, you have to clean. Because when you come home, when the narcissist come home, he wants to eat and don't do anything. Unless he wants something. Then you'll find them catering to you to get out of you what they want. And it's war. It's war in your home. Fighting in your home. What does that do to the children who are seeing constant disagreement, constant fighting, constant dissension? What does that do for the kids? If it don't help you physiologically, do you think it's going to help the kids? Absolutely not. It torments their mind. It gives them insecurity. It takes away their confidence. She said, my children still remember some things. Oh my God. Did you ever get them counseling? Carol said, Shelley of Chet Shelley Let me read what she wrote. Is in the hospital. Please keep her in your prayers. Sure will. Definitely would do that. She said, but I say it helped them to see that they don't want to be like that. The only thing about that is when they go through trauma, kids go through trauma, they need to get that trauma out their system, because the trauma that stays in them helps them to look for more trauma. You definitely want that trauma out their system. So if you can get them into therapy, that will help them. Or if you would become their therapist, if you know how to do it, get you books about children, books about their will, books about coming out of trauma, repairing from trauma. That will help them, because the trauma is not in their experience only. The trauma went inside of them. Do you know, a psychologist said something on Oprah that really stayed with me. He said every cell in your body is eavesdropping on your dialogue. So that means that every cell in your body understands and cater to every word that goes to you, in you, through you. So if it goes in, the cells take note of that. So all of that arguing, all of that cussing, all of that dissension, it's not just an experience. It is a living element on the inside. Your words go on the inside of you, and they affect your inside. She said, my daddy was a narc, my mother, borderline. She said, they loved me when I earned it. She said, and hated me the rest of the time. I am still healing from that wound. You know what, Carol? I know it is. I know it is. I know it is. A lot of adult behavior that are negative is a result of childhood experiences. And we grow up, but sometimes we don't immediately grow out of it. That's why you have to understand the foundation of what happened to you. Most people with narcissists had narcissistic parents, and they drew the narcissist because they never demagnetized. They never demagnetized. Never demagnetized. And so now they're drawing their experiences. They're drawing their mother, they're drawing their father into their life. Why? Because they was narcissists, and they drawing that experience further by drawing other narcissists in their life. She said, eventually a person must forgive. I think that's what helped them rise. Of course, I believe in forgiveness. You cannot erase memories. She said, but yeah, you cannot erase memory. Yeah, trauma could cause some people to become bad people. Others make them rise. Not all trauma causes people to become bad. Some people learn from it, but that doesn't mean they don't need help in it. Look where you are today, Carol. That is positive. Okay, Italy, the one thing I'm going to do, I am not going to be negative, but we're going to get to the point. And I don't want you to talk over me. Please don't do that, because I am here to help. My whole time is to help. But in order to help, you have to identify the problem. If you're going to solve the problem, you got to recognize the problem. We recognize the problem. I am also a survivor, a thriver, and I have victory. I have totally overcome it. And I'm telling you, there is a winner circle from it. But you do have to acknowledge it. Carol, my mom was MPD, okay? And my dad, MPD, sitting with you and oh boy, that was a serious growth, Kira. That was some serious growth right there. Absolutely. Absolutely. But let me tell you something. When anybody been with a narcissist, we don't have to display what happened. You know more than anyone. If you was raised with narcissistic parents, you understand. especially if you are an empath and you was raised with narcissistic family or a borderline family member, you understand that more than we can explain it to you. Or if you were married or in a relationship with a narcissist, no one has to explain that to you. But a lot of times you come out of these relationships with traumas. You come out of these relationships with questions. Some of you didn't even know that you was in a relationship with a narcissist until you got out. She said, that's great, Carol. See, Jesus does good news. Okay, let me do this right here. All righty. So the one thing that we know is anytime you are involved, and a lot of times we get people on this site that may be trolls, so I am so sorry. She's outgrown greatly and still have a way to go. Don't quit striving for. Absolutely. 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 A narcissist relationship is not the end of life. Sometimes it's the very beginning because you got knowledge and experience that took you beyond where you think you could be. There is life after narcissism. There is power after narcissism. There is strength after narcissism. And if you've been through that relationship and you come through that relationship, 9 times out of 10, you're stronger than when you first went into it because you are a survivor and you survived that relationship. It is a testament to your strength. And God, the Bible said we are fearfully and wonderfully made. So an experience is not the end of life. Those of you who have been through these relationships know the growth, the determination, the power it takes to make it through these relationships. I've had people been in these relationships 60 years, 70 years. Can you imagine going through with a narcissist for 60 years and they keep the same pattern? And you have to grow beyond their operation. You have to grow beyond reaction. You have to go beyond just being repaired, but you have to get back into your wholeness. You have to get back into your strength. Deflection always take the problem away from the point of truth, because you can deal with a deflected situation. A deflected situation is not even a real situation. When you handle relationships that handle problems, deal with the problem. They come together, they communicate. They come together and they join. She said, I feel there is real self-empowerment in getting yourself back after narcissist abuse. Absolutely. This is why I'm here. This is why you have coaches, life coaches, that have been through that. We are evidence that strength is still there. What do you think the narcissist was drawn to? What do you think the narcissist tried to drown out? They tried to drown out your power. They tried to drown out your strength. That's why when you have a problem, you can never get to a conclusion. Drowning out your power, drowning out your strength. But life is not over just because you experience narcissism. You can become better. You can become more powerful afterwards, because that experience that you have victory over gives you more strength. And that's why you can help people. You can help people through these courses of demonstrative devaluation, torture, and abuse. You can become a destiny helper. And when you help people to come through their pain begin to minimize. Those of you that are on, that are experienced the topic that I'm talking about, you've experienced this. You've experienced the devastation. And some of your children, now that you are out, you notice when you came out, the fog left. You notice when you came out, your body start to feel better. You notice when you came out, you start to have the energy to plan, the zeal to go forward, the empowerment to win, especially those of you who are empaths. When you came out, you went back to heal. You went back to bring understanding as an empath, because the empath goes into chaos and bring order. That's what an empath does. And see, with the narcissist, there's disorder, but you can bring order. See that this community is helping me get stronger. Thank you. You are so welcome. Because life is not over because of the narcissist. Some of your life actually just begun with the narcissist. You never thought you could make it through that. You were 10 years in, and it looked like you weren't going to make it out. So when the narcissist discarded, it was really helping you out when they discarded. It was painful at first. You ruminated at first. You craved at first. You longed for them. But you noticed the longer you stayed out, the stronger you became. Why? Because all the fog left. You can actually think. You can actually feel your true feelings without feeling confused of what you felt. You didn't have someone gaslighting you, telling you how wrong you are. The emptiness left, because many of you with the narcissist, but you still lonely. You still sad. You still empty. Being around strong people can strengthen you. Being around strong people will calibrate your memory and make you remember how powerful you used to be before the narcissist, before the trauma. And some of you, that was the scapegoat in a narcissist family relationship. One thing about scapegoats, they're not dismissible. They are very powerful. She said, yes, I thank God for your channel and your daughter, Dr. Carmen Bryant. She said, gave me to sue, continue on in life. And she said, strong and to hold my head up. And now I know I was never crazy. Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to remember, the narcissists are tremendous habitual liars. You have to take what they say with a grain of salt. Turn it around. If they tell you you're stupid, what is happening? They have been intimidated by your wisdom. When they tell you that you're weak, no, they're intimidated by your strength. You have to turn around what they're saying. You're the opposite of that. And when they keep telling you that, you start to believe it. That's why you have to speak to yourself. Get around strong support groups, strong women and men that are going to encourage you. You don't need to be consistently in a place that you're tolerated. You need to be consistently in a place that you're celebrated. And one thing about the narcissist, they're going to go after your strength. That's what they want for themselves. So that's what they tear down in you. And Jesus, girl, Betty, I am so glad that you gain your momentum, that you regain your strength, that you regain your power. You can do this. And guess what? Everything you went through, none of it will be wasted. It will help other people know that they can come through it. You came through it, and you're telling them you can too. And guess what? You got people who believe in what you have conquered. And they believe that they can do it too because you did it. Jesus, girl, Betty, we salute you. We are proud of you. Yeah, we are proud of you. We are proud of you. What you've been through, what you come through. And you've been through a lot. When I was listening to your testimony, the years, and then when you went back, how horrific it was, you can help others. Because Jesus, girl Betty, some people think they can change them. Some people think that there's hope in the relationship. Because if I stay long enough, they will change. If I just be quiet, they will love me. If I just give them everything they want, everything will be all right. She said, I met a narcissist who love bombed me as a best friend in a trauma recovery group. Whoa. And as soon as she connected with the founder of the group, she stopped contacting me. You was just an entryway. You was just a port. Her whole goal the whole time was to contact the founder. The whole point. She wanted to look like she cared. She wanted them to look like she was compassionate, because they have cognizant compassion, not emotional compassion. Because the narcissist can observe situations and the reactionary means in that situation, and you teach them how they're supposed to act in situations, and so they mirror your behavior in the situation. So the next situation outside of you, that's what they do, what you taught them to do. Absolutely. So Kira, that doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me that she would drop you. Her intent was the founder. Hopefully, the founder will recognize who she is and not get caught in the situation with her. And it's unfortunate when you have narcissist friends. They are narcissists as a narcissist, whether they are friend, family member, co-worker, or spouse, child. They are the same. Sometimes the hardest thing is when a narcissist child grew up in a relationship and now you're dealing with them. She said they steal parts of your identity. They absolutely do. They absolutely do. And you have to get all of that back. She said, I set boundaries and don't let anyone break them anymore. Smart girl. Smart girl. Because just like Kira said, part of you leaves, part of you is gone. They steal part of you. And you know what? If you do not heal, you walk in life as a fraction. You don't want to walk in life as a fraction. She said they are copycats. They mimic everything. Remember, they mirror because you teach them what to do. They don't know what to do. You teach them. That's why you can say something and you hear it again, or you can react, and the next thing you know, they're imitating what you did and how you reacted, and you're looking at them and say, I just did that. But they're going to take total credit for what you did. Even though you did it and they mimic what you did, they take all the credit. Jesus, girl Betty, that was really good. They are copycats. They are perfect imitator. That's why they call them the parakeet. Narcissists are parakeet. They can imitate it personally. They get it down packed because on their own, they don't know what to do. She said yes, and they absolutely are copycats. Absolutely. And they're good at it. They're good at it. That's why you have to be good at being authentic. And the one thing the narcissists want is your authenticity. They don't want you to be who you are because they can't take who you are. Who are you? You're strong. Who are you? You are powerful. Who are you? You are mighty. Who are you? You're intelligent. Who are you? You're able to love and care for someone deeply. The narcissist knows that, and they can't do it. They can receive it from you, but they can't reciprocate it to you. They cannot. So, guess what? When you're with a narcissist, the hardest thing you're going to find yourself doing is keeping your authenticity. You have to keep your authenticity. That's the fight. And not to lose yourself, like Kira said, you lose pieces of yourself. And see, that's the fight, to keep all of you. And guess what? If you keep staying there, you start losing yourself. And that's why the narcissist can care about you. And when the narcissists feel that they're starting to be overly concerned for you, guess what they do? They discard, they leave, they cause problems. Narcissists, they say they have an inability to love. They may have an inability to commit to love, but they have a heart so they can care. And when they care, they get out of Dodge. She said, trying to teach them how to treat you, just give them more ammunition to hurt you. Absolutely. Because they feel like you're trying to control them. She said, the day I knew she had moved on was when she posted her new favorite song a day after the founder posted that song. See? Narcissists are very intentional. If you remember that, yeah. Kira said, yes, Carol. Yeah. They move on. They move on because they don't have no commitment to you. They don't have no loyalty to you. They're only committed with what they need from you. That's the level and the extent of their commitment. And when they stop needing you, they're no longer committed. That's why they can move on. They're gone for a week and come back. Tell you I had to get myself together. No, they're with another supply. But nothing is like the primary. The primary is already sculpture. The primary is already set. A new supply has to be set. That's work. That's energy. Absolutely. And see, the more you tell the narcissist how to treat you, the angrier they get. Because the narcissists feel like you're trying to control them. They feel like you're trying to mold them. And the one thing you know the narcissist cannot do without is control. A narcissist is not going to allow you to control them. They will discard. They will pack their bags and leave and make up an excuse for why they left. They are afraid. Narcissists have tremendous fear. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. But they are laced with fear. They are laced with insecurity. That's part of the problem you're having with them, is their insecurity. And that's why they need you insecure. Because your security is intimidating to them. It's like putting them in a headlock. They can't stand your security. And a narcissist will work and work and work and work and work and work and work. They got a movie called Kiss the Girls. It's an older movie. And this movie shows a young man. And his whole theme or his whole energy was to get strong women and break them down. Because his mother was a narcissist. And she was strong and she always overpowered him. Always was harsh to him. So he looked for talented, wealthy, powerful women. And he broke them down. Once he broke them down, he was done with them. His whole mission was to break them. And once he broke them, they were no longer a point of interest. Sound like the narcissist? Yeah. The narcissist is there to break you down, to filibuster you into thinking that you have no value, to thinking that you're nothing, to thinking that you need them, to thinking that you have to have them, to thinking that you can't do anything without them. That's the narcissist's way of thinking. And they don't stop until they get it or they leave. Sometimes the narcissists discard because they couldn't break you down. Sometimes the narcissists leave because they couldn't pull you down and break you the way they wanted to. Just like Kiss the Girls, when he wanted to break down their strength and get rid of their power, to see them helpless. He got a sense of relief the more helpless they became. That's how he got his peace. That's how he got his relief. That's the way the narcissist is. When they break you down, they get their relief. She literally posted a rage, what, emoji on her Facebook group and on the 3 different sites. and no one noticed that was unhealthy. Wow. Hello, Mitia. How are you? Is that Mishia? She said, pray for me, please. I'm experiencing this, but Jesus is Lord. Okay, you are right in the midst of the relationship, Misha. Narcissists, we sure will. We will pray. Misha, you can do this. You can make it through, but you have to make it through prayerfully. Read your Bible. It's my family. Oh my God, that narcissistic family. Oh yeah, we know how that can be. You would be the one that God gave the blueprint to end the narcissist. Be there at the end of the cut. Cut the ribbon with a big scissors. Never had any part of it. It was all you. You know what, Misha? Listen to me. You can do this even in the midst of it. Even when you're still there. You don't have to be broken there. You can be built there. But you're going to have to learn how. She said, thank you for your prayers. Glory to God. I receive it. Bless you. And see what is hard. Misha, sometimes you have to cut off your family if you can. Do you live with them? Or are you in your own place where you can be without them? You can honor them. Always honor your mom. And you can honor her at a distance. You don't have to be there to honor her. She said, I don't know. It was understood that what I was saying. Okay, where's she at? Okay, she deleted the message. Oh, yeah. Jesus, girl, we received that encouragement that you gave Misha. We receive it. She said, yes, ma'am. I believe in God for my own place. You know what? We're trusting God to open up a door for you to get your own place. Are you working, Misha? Are you working? Do you have your own job? Or do you have to be there? Do you have to be there? Because one thing about living with a narcissist family, it's an everyday drama. It's an everyday drama. And we'll believe in God for you, because when you have to go through every single day, the accusation, the gaslighting. She said, yes, ma'am, I'm believing God. Misha, do you have your own job where you can get your place? Or do we need to add that into the prayer that you get? She says, yes, ma'am, self-employed. She said, Mom destroyed my last year. Ooh, and I lost my dream job. Oh, my God. This is why we are praying for you to get out. Even if you can find a roommate until you can get your own place. And that way you can build up while you build your business up. To get your own place. Jesus Girl Betty said, we are definitely praying for you. Absolutely. Thank you, Jesus Girl Betty. We are definitely praying for her. And she get her own place, because it's hard when it's a family, and it's hard when the family is a parent, because you want to give respect to your parent, and there's certain things you're not going to say. There's certain things you're not going to do because you want to honor them. Misha said, many thanks. I believe God. He's working. Absolutely. He's working on your behalf, and nothing is impossible. Just stay focused. If you can get some positive books. My daughter has a book out, and it's called The Essence of an Aristocratic Woman. The Essence of an Aristocratic Woman. Misha, you can get that on Amazon. And it's by Kathy Gibson. Kathy Gibson. The Essence of the Aristocratic Woman. This will build you up. And this book will cater to your level of confidence, that it can be where it can be sustained, where you can operate in that level of faith to get the things you need, because you need your own place. You need your own place. You're going to experience a freedom when you get out in it. So we are definitely praying, and I am believing God with Jesus girl Betty that it's going to work. She said, yes, ma'am. I'll look it up. Thank you so much. You are so welcome. The Essence of Aristocratic Woman by Kathy Gibson. You're going to love that book. It's going to be a real blessing to you. She said, going no contact with a toxic family. It is hard. Oh, yeah. She said, but it is so important. I was stuck moving home to care for my mom. She said, and got trapped back into the dysfunctional system. Ooh, I can imagine that. So now, Kira, are you out or are you still in? Are you still there with your mom? Sometimes we have to love them from afar. You know, you have to send them money if your mom needs it. Make sure she have the things she needs, but without compromising your life, because a lot of times they will keep asking and asking and asking and asking and asking. And after a while, you can't even take care of yourself. Well, you can be able to send what you want to send to them when you're away from them and avoid contact. You call every now and then, make sure your mom is all right, and you know how that is because you know how the conversation is going to go, and then you pull back. If you are a child and your mom is elderly aged and they need care, you can get the care they need. Put them on a system. If they can get nurses there, let the nurses do it, because you will be torn down. A narcissist, even though they are a family member, can go to great devaluations. Are you still there, Kira, or are you out away from your family? Or have you went to a no contact zone? Have you went to a no contact zone? Kira said, I am out. She passed from the traumatic brain injury. Oh, wow. Well, Kira, I am sorry for that. But you know what? Now you're able to move on. But what you got to do, you got to get all that trauma out of your system. Trauma goes to the blood. Did you know that? Trauma travels through the blood system. The blood goes through every part of your body. So the blood, the trauma that's in the blood goes through all of the organs of the body. And the body pick up the trauma that's in the blood. That's why healing is necessary. God does make us whole, and he take us through the process of healing, and healing take us through the process to wholeness. Wholeness take away the damage that was launched in you from the trauma. Yeah, it takes away the damage. Hey, Bamboo, how are you? She said, is there a way to live with an elderly narcissist without bending to their games? Nurses will go through the same thing, she said, and some turn violent against the patients. You know what? When they are older, they usually worse when they're older. It's worse when you're older. When you live with a narcissist, there's things you have to do for you. You have to cater to you. She said, congrats on being out. Sorry for your loss, Kira. Absolutely. When you are in a relationship, you have to read positive books. You have to get around positive people, because every time you go home, there is a windstorm. And this windstorm blows everything. The rubbish of emotions, the rubbish of attack, the psychological abuse is horrific. The accusation, the blame, the lying, the falsicities, the gaslighting, the evaluation. All of this wind blows in the house. So what you have to do is make sure you cater to you. You can do that through books, programs, videos like this. Listen to these videos over and over and over again. Listen to these videos. They will build you. They will strengthen you, because you recognize what is happening. You will gain momentum. Like Jesus Betty girl said, I don't put up my boundaries, and I'm not letting anybody cross them. You got to do like Jesus girl Betty. You got to put up those boundaries, put up those restrictions that the narcissist is not going to comply, but you keep them up. She said, I am in a master's program for counseling psychology. Good for you. Yay, Kira. Excellent. Excellent. I believe the program is going to help you see some things very clearly. Very clearly. And it's just like Bamboo said. Sometimes you experience so much until you turn violent. The narcissist wants the reaction. Stay in control. Don't allow them to trigger you to a reaction. Because if they trigger you to a reaction, guess what? Then the accusations come. And when the accusations come, they're going to accuse you of being insensitive. Come on now. So you can gain strength, you can gain your momentum, you can gain victory every single time. Every single time. Every single time. Are you hearing me? And Misha, she said gray rock. Absolutely. But the only thing about gray rock, you can only do it for so long. You can only gray rock for so long. Because you got to deal with them. They're in the house. But gray rock does help. It will give you a time to regroup. It'll give you a time to reconsider. It'll give you a time to reevaluate. Excellent, Kira. Good job. And that's what you have to do. Like when I was saying, when you get into arguments, don't give out words. They use every word against you. Don't give out words. Now, Kira, that is good. You gray rock. She said they try to get you to react. Mad. Man say what they want. Go here. Okay, I missed that one, Kira. They do get you to react. That's what they bank on. They bank on you reacting. Because once you react, they can get away from the topic. Once they get away from the topic, then you can't get resolution to the problem. You are confronting them because there's an issue and you want that issue resolved. Well, they give a reaction so they won't resolve it. She said, what if you want to get an inheritance or need a place to live? Baby, you just have to plan it. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy because you're going to be dealing with them while you're there. Is it worth it? Because the one thing you have to think about, your life, your health. Your life, your health. They're going to do everything they can to tear it down. She said, my neighbor was BFF with our local church leaders. So I called the leader's boss, who became my friend. That shut down the narc smear campaign right quick. I'm glad that you got remedy to that, but never underestimate a narcissist. Never underestimate a narcissist. God will always put you in the lead. He said you're the head and not the tail. She said, I will not jeopardize my peace like that. I left and went to the shelter with my 3 kids. She said, and I was in heaven. Jesus girl Belly, I'm giving you a high five. Wow. She's a great Carol. Jesus girl Betty said, it's best to get out if you are able or plan to get out and stay out. Because it doesn't matter. You can have plans. The narcissist has no love for you at all. And their goal is to tear you down. Their goal is to make sure you're miserable. Their goal is not to subsidize the abuse, but make sure it's in full manifestation. So I'm with Jesus, girl. Bamboo, you have to see. She said, what if there are narcissists in the shelter who harass you anyway? One thing about it, they can get put out of a shelter. But it's hard to put them out of your house. It's hard to put them off your job, and it's definitely not easy for a family. In a shelter, if they do wrong, they can be kicked out of the shelter. So if there's a narcissist in the shelter that is tormenting, harassing, intimidating, you can tell the leader, and the leader will kick them out, because a shelter is a place of respite. It gives hope. It helps the people who have been traumatized and in danger, who needs relief. They would definitely kick them out the shelter, because that's not even the environment for them. They secure people against that. So make sure you report that if that is happening. If that is happening. And Jesus girl Betty, says, it's best to be out and in peace than to be traumatized. Because you can be in a mansion and be a billionaire with a narcissist. Your health is failing, your mind is failing, you're miserable, you have no peace. Which is better? It's better to be free. It's better to be out. It's better to be authentic. It's better to have all of you, like Kira was saying, instead of pieces and fractions of you. Carol said, I own my home with a reverse mortgage. The narc is renting 2 doors away. He will likely move when he finishes his PhD degree. She said, I will pray God employs him in another state. Oh my God. Boy, what kind of relief is that if they're only 2 doors down? That right there will be a big alert. Are you related to the narc? Is the narcissist your husband or ex-husband or boyfriend or ex-boyfriend? What is the narc to you? Because it's interesting that they will live 2 doors down unless there's some intent. I would be very careful and definitely very watchful of that, Carol. Definitely very careful and very watchful of that, especially the kind of narcissist they are would depict their reaction. Thank God you own your own home where you have a place where you can stay. All righty. This, Carol said, nothing more than a neighbor. Oh, okay. Just a neighbor. Thank the Lord. Well, you know what? I agree with you. Hopefully, they will get a job in another state or another city that takes them away from you. She said, he is not related. All right. Bamboo said, is there a way to live among the narcissists and be narc proof? Absolutely not. There's no way. There's no way. Baby, there's no way. It won't happen. They won't let it happen. So that would be an expectation that would be unfulfilled. A narcissist in your presence would definitely demonstrate their behavior. Know that for a fact. And you will experience the environment that they release, which will affect you. And that's why you have to work hard to keep yourself strong. But when you're around it, it's just like hitting a wall every day. A little hammer hitting the wall, hitting the wall, hitting the wall. After a while, that wall is going to have an impact from that constant hitting. And that's the way it is with a narcissist. That constant impact of devaluation will have an impact on you. She said the thing they do to your sense of self is the biggest strength to push us to the find our way out to independence. Oh, I agree. I agree tremendously. Absolutely. Well said, Kira. Well said. When you look for freedom and your freedom is very valuable to you, nothing is going to compensate for that. Absolutely no money in the world will compensate for that. Because if I'm very wealthy but I have no peace and I'm tortured, what good is it? You can only buy so much. You can only spend so much. And then you come back to the torture and the lack of peace. Kira, well said. Well said. Well, y'all, this has been great. We have been on for over an hour. And I want you to know I look forward to you. Um, Make sure that you have subscribed to my channel. I've decided to go into computer mode like me. She's a Spock, on Spock on Star Trek, and show emotions around the narc. No emotion. She said, I just feel like some people are stronger and they have strong families. They may be stronger, but that don't mean that you can't be. Baby, that means that you have to get around people that are strong. Take a trip to the library. Get the books in the library and read it. Read about self-esteem. Read about strengthening yourself. You know the Bible said that we're fearfully and wonderfully made. You have to recognize how God made you. Find a strong church that you believe in, that you can trust. Because sometimes it's hard to trust when you've been with spiritual narcissists too. But find a church that is loving, that is strong, and get around those people. She said, I feel like people are stronger when they have strong families. Yeah, but if you don't have that, you don't have that. So you got to find your strength from your belief system. I believe I can do this. I believe I can make it. I believe I have value. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the library and pick up books and read them, because I have to go back home into it. Then I'm going to find friends that are strong, because I got to go back home into it. My friends that have families that are strong, that'll help you with your strength, because you got to go back into your narcissist family, which is devaluating you at every chance they get. So you have to get strength from another source, from another place. And God will enable you to do that. You can operate the impossible. It's going to take work. It's going to take a real decision. And it's every day. Like the narcissist is every day. Like you go through every day. Baby, you have to every day build yourself. All day. Go to the mirror. Look in the mirror. Talk to yourself. You are strong. You can handle this. You can do this. I refuse to be destroyed. I refuse to have somebody to tear me down. I refuse it. But it will impact you. She said, Jesus, girl Betty said, the Bible said, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. She said, read the book and it will be in you and you will have strength. She said, I had to learn how to read. You sure did. I remember that. Corey said, this is helping me a lot. I messaged you on Facebook. Good job. I'll read that, Corey. Corey also emailed me, destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. Corey, destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. Carol, could you write that out for me? destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. Thank you, Carol. Write that out for me. And Corey, I would like for you to write me. destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. This has been an honor. This is 2023. Many of you, thank you so much. Thank you, Deborah. She said, Happy New Year, everyone. Hey, Deborah, how are you? She said, I will. Thank you so much for your service. Okay, Corey, I am looking for it. I'm looking for your email. Corey, what email should I look for? What email, Corey, should I look for when you write me? So I'll look for that email, because I get thousands upon thousands of emails, and I will look for your email. Write your email out now so I can see it, and I will look for that email. This has been tremendous. Happy New Year, Deborah. She said, Happy New Year, everyone. Continue to go no contact, and get a relationship with the Father. Absolutely. Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And he will give you all the strength you need. High five, Betty girl. She said, good night, everyone. I feel so grateful for all of you. God bless you, everyone. I love you. Thank you so much for being with me. Make sure you subscribe. If you have not subscribed to my, she said, please do. I will do it very soon. Great. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Push that bell, and every time I come on live, you will be alerted. Thank you so much. Jesus Girl Betty, you got to join me. We on our 21st day of communion. We going into 40 days of communion ending January 22nd. So Jesus Girl Betty, join me in communion. Happy New Year, everyone. She said, I'm doing awesome. Thanks for asking. We'll watch the replay. All right, everyone. I love you. Make sure you like and share the page, the YouTube channel, and make sure you subscribe to this channel. I love you. Happy New Year. God bless you. And Misha, we are praying for you like we said that we would pray. And we are praying for the young lady that is in the hospital. And I think that was Carol that said that we needed to pray for her that's in the hospital. Carol, I want you to know we got you. And we will be praying. God bless you. Good night, everyone. Join me in the next live. So make sure you subscribe. God bless. Happy New Year.